If somebody comes and tells you, I'm going to teach you happiness, don't even listen to that person. Because first of all, you need to admit that you don't know how to be happy. That itself is a big lie, right? So nobody can teach you how to be happy. So over the years, I think I just have 10 minutes, so I don't think I can go too much into depth of talking about happiness, but I can definitely go into something which tells you why happiness. Why do we care about happiness? Or why should we even, give our time to happiness? So can we all do one small activity if everyone is okay? Yeah? Okay. Can I request all of you to please spread your arms? Just make sure you don't hit your person sitting next to you, just a little bit. Yeah. Just try to look up. Try to look up and not try to be sad. Try to be sad. Can you? Okay, now bring your arms together like this. Look down and try to be sad. Tell me which one is easier. The first one or the second one? Second one, right? This is why we care about happiness, because when you're happy, it's not just your body. Even your mind opens up. You're okay to try new things. You're okay to meet new people. You're a little more risk taker. You're more forgiving. If somebody said something mean to you, you don't mind it. But on the days when you are unhappy, you're not happy, it's not just your body. First your body shrinks, then your thought shrinks, then your dream shrinks, then your life starts shrinking. You don't want to meet too many new people. You don't want to try too many new things. You don't want to go out and take any risk. You just want to be in your survival circle. So happiness is something that helps us expand our life, not just our thoughts and dreams, but expand our life as such. If I am a happy entrepreneur, I'm okay to do 10 things, and still if I fail at it, I'm okay. But I'm myself is in a zone where I don't want to kind of face these feelings more and more. I won't even take risk. So is it okay if I take this forward and tell you a small story? Are you all okay with story? Anyone who's a very serious kind? No? This is a small Buddhist story. There were two monks, and one senior monk and one a younger monk. They were traveling, and while coming back from the city, they went there to get some stuff, and while coming back, it got a little late, and they got stuck in the forest. Now they didn't want to sleep inside, in the woods, because it's risky. So the senior monk said, go and find some place where we can have a shelter for the night. Now this younger monk, he leaves and he goes there to find some place where they can sleep. He finds a very small hut. He knocks at the hut, and there's this very old couple who opens up the door. So they said, can we spend the night here? We don't have any place to go. Very happily, they welcome. So they went inside and they slept for the night. So they offer them milk in the night to sleep. In the morning when they wake up, they again offer them milk. Now when they had a milk and when they were about to leave in the morning, this younger monk, he asked that, okay, what do you do? What is your livelihood? How do you, procure your food and other things? They said, we got a cow outside, very old cow. This cow gives us milk, and with the help of that milk, we survive. So he feels so touched with the emotion. He says that, they don't have enough, but still they gave their milk to us to survive. So when they were going back, younger monk still carrying this emotion of just going and helping them and giving them something. So he asked senior monk, he says, I really want to do something for them. What is that I can do? And senior monk is not interested. He's walking very swiftly because he wants to go back to the monastery. He says, if I tell you what you can do, you won't like it. So this is why don't ask me. He said, no, whatever you say, I'll do it. He says, okay, the only way to help them, they have a cow, stay here for the whole day. When it's evening, take that cow, take it to the cliff and push that cow down that cliff. He says, what happened to him? Has he lost his mind? They helped us. He wanted me to take their cow, the only source of survival for them, and just push it down the cliff. How will they survive? He said, that's why I said you won't listen to me. Now he's a senior monk. His word is an order. So he said, okay, I'll stay here. He stayed there. In the night, he goes back to the hut, take the cow and push that cow down the cliff. With a very heavy heart, guilt in his heart, he leaves. And the senior monk take a promise that you will not go back to their house again. But 10, 12 years passed and now he's never gone there. But now the senior monk is no longer there. He is the senior monk. One day he's going to the city and coming back, and he remembers that this is the same village where this family used to stay. Can I go there and just check? So he went there and tried to find the place, the small hut. There was no hut. In fact, there was a big palace. A big house, looked like a palace. He knocked at the door. Some very smartly dressed gentlemen opened the door. And he asked them, there was a couple who used to live here, very old couple used to live here. Do you know where they are? He said, yes, we are that. He said, what happened to you? He said, you remember I'm the same guy who came to you? He said, yes, and he goes inside, offer him food and everything. Then he said, what happened to you? How did you grow so much? He said, we used to have a cow. The day you left, the same night our cow ran away. We didn't have cow after that. So there was no way to survive. So I had to go to the city to learn some skill. I learned carpentry. With that skill, I started making furniture, and because of that, we are quite rich today. Now, how this story is connected to happiness or entrepreneurship? In life, we have so many cows. We have so many cows that give us a feeling that yes, this is my safety and security. This makes us feel as if, this is taking care of my survival. And whether it's a relationship or it's business or anything in life, there's something that gives you an impression that if these are not there, nothing will work. And in business, it's very important to identify such cows and throw them in the cliff. But now, if I myself is so emotionally connected and attached that I'm just revolving in my own emotions all the time, it's very difficult. Because most of the people, when we talk about happiness, for them, happiness means just having fun, laughing, smiling and dancing. How many of you, if I ask you to close your eyes and think about something happy, how many of you will think of some, joyful, laughing, smiling faces? Everyone, right? But tell me, anyone who runs marathon here, do any adventure activity? Do you remember that face when you are about to finish? Oh, so much pain. Look at the face. Remember that moment when you're running that. Is this joy? Any kind of fun doing that? No, that's a very painful process. But if I ask you what gives you happiness, you know what you say? You say, running marathon gives me happiness. Trekking gives me happiness. How can that give you happiness if happiness is all about laughing, smiling and dancing? Why do you have tears in your eyes when you're very happy? Yeah. When you meet someone who's in pain and they keep their head on your shoulder and they cry, you also cry with them. You have a very light heart. Why so? Do we really know what is happiness? The whole model of happiness is we take the reference from the past. So let's say this is past, this is present, and this is future. When we look about happiness, we take the reference from the past. We say what I used to do, if I get to do that again, I'll be happier. But there is a whole theory of hedonic adaptation which says that the next ice cream will not give you the same level of happiness. So even if you get to do the same thing that you were doing in college, you will still not be happy. You met your college friend last time, you want to meet them again so that you'll be happy? It's not going to happen. You you want a next level of happiness. Now you look at the future, you connect your happiness to the future thinking that once I get that, I'll be happy. Now let me ask you a question. How many of you thought that if I get married to this person and my life will be great, and then you get married to that person? Yeah, if I get that job, everything will be great. Yeah, and finally you get that job. Yeah. A lot of people actually are sitting as a place which they did not even dream. And still, they're thinking that something else. So connecting our happiness to the future goal is again something that's not workable, because there's a whole theory of, by Daniel Gilbert from Harvard University. He says that we're not good at, predicting what will make us happy. So we're not a very good predictor of happiness. So we are not a good historians. Yeah, we are not good astrologers also. Many of us trying astrology thinking that I get this, I'll be happy. The thing is that people can only give what they have. If I meet you, I have a joy in my heart. What is that I'm going to give you? Joy. But if I am having anger in my heart, even if you don't want to taste, even if I have no intention to give you, what will you still get from me? If I carry hatred in my heart, sadness in my heart, I don't want to give you. Now people get into a relationship thinking that relationship will give me happiness. Now the problem is other person is also getting into the relationship thinking that you will give me happiness. It's like two beggars begging from each other. I don't have it, I'm seeking it from you. You don't have it, you're seeking it from me. Is this not the great way to get into a relationship that, yes, I'm full of joy and happiness and this is what I'm here to offer, rather than, extracting. Even, okay, I'm feeling very sad, I want to go and meet my friend. Why? That poor chap, I'm going to extract happiness from that person's life, right? So the whole idea of happiness is so very misunderstood that initially when we started studying it, and it was very one-sided, we got trained by Berkeley Institute of Wellbeing, California, we were studying positive psychology and everything. But I was thinking something is missing. In 2016, when I got introduced to the vast wisdom we have it here in India, we call it, you call it spiritual wisdom, you call it our Eastern wisdom. When I got introduced to that, the whole quality of our work got changed completely, because that's when it became a holistic product. Till then, we were like coming and doing these things, talking about it, and everything was great. People were happy. But the transformational impact, it started happening when we actually started going deeper into our culture. Now, over the last 5 years, I think 80% of our crowd, every year we touch about 10,000 people or so. 3 days back, I came from Turkey. We had a retreat there. So every place I go to, now we got more acceptance, because people know that there is a culture. The whole West is about head and East is about heart. The moment you give importance to one over other, you are going to mess up. If you say head is important, I ask you, in business, we give importance to head, which means data, number, profitability. But heart does not care about that. Heart cares about stories. Heart care about love. Heart care about compassion. And if you look at it from the Indian point of view, we say Ida Pingala, we say masculine and feminine. These are very feminine qualities, not a gender-wise. It's a feminine qualities, nurturing and gratitude and compassion. Now at the workplace, at the organization, who is heading the organization? Masculine energy is heading the organization. And when you go and talk about such things, it does not make sense. They say, okay, this is fine, but what about profitability? So this is why there's a whole research around this, that, when you are happier, when your people are happier, you are more productive. Your profitability goes up. There are so many studies around this from Gallup's and many other reliable sources, that happiness is really good for our business. Now, we have, this whole forum wherein over the next 1 year, I think every 4 months, we are going to pick up one topic on happiness, starting from this one. We work on a model called me, we, and the workplace. If I am not happy, I can't give it to you. I am not engaged, but I can use, stick and reward method, and I can make you engage. But if I am not happy, I can't force you to be happy. So the journey of happiness always starts with this one. And one of the most important thing in happiness is just being okay with vulnerability. In Google, they had a project called Project Aristotle, and the whole idea, the whole intention of this project was to find out what makes great teams. And at the end, they could not find any data which makes sense. And in the Project Aristotle, when they went deeper into it, and this is what they discovered. They said, if I can go to the workplace without carrying a work face, that makes me give my best. So vulnerability is one of the most important thing at the workplace. If I can just be okay to be who I am, I'm okay to accept others as they are, right? So the whole idea of vulnerability and authentic relationship is one of the module. Then measuring happiness. How do I know? Okay, talking it's fine. Today my mind is telling me I'm happy, but maybe deep inside there's some sadness. Like Jimmy said, everybody knowingly, unknowingly is depressed once in their life, or for some period in their life. People don't even realize that. Right? So how do we measure that? So measuring happiness is one of the module, that how do we come to know that when we are happy and when we are not. Then there are other modules like which are, we have a model which is very Indo-Western model, which is, we call it a Rasa Sadhana. Rasa Sadhana is your, it's a emotional management tool to use emotions to fuel your growth. Each emotion in India, when we talk about emotion, we don't talk about positive and negative emotion. we talk about 9 emotion, Navrasa. Each and every emotion can be used for your self-growth, whether it's sadness or anger. We have so many yogis in India who got enlightened because of their anger. How many of you know Durvasa Rishi and all of those? We have stories where they got enlightened. And anger has that power. So each emotion can be used, but there's a whole module around that. We all know that gratitude is very, very important. It has got a lot of power. But all the time, whenever we express our gratitude, we always express our gratitude with some condition attached to it. Thank you so much because you did this for me. Thank you so much because you brought this for me. Every time this condition is attached. Can we express our gratitude without a reason? Because the moment we go beyond reason, we become unreasonable. And beyond reason always, what happens beyond reason? Beyond logic is always magic. Magic happens when we go beyond logic. So can we express our gratitude to people in this space? We don't even know them. It's a good connecting activity also. Okay, can we do that? Okay, let me add the second condition then. Second condition is, have you experienced those moments when you are so happy that your gratitude was actually not coming through this, it was coming through this. You see something so beautiful that you just can't find the right kind of words to express it. Gratitude is that kind of overwhelming feeling, which when you express it with word, just with a thank you, it's something that you nurture it in your heart, and this is very Indian practice. We always say that, we don't say thank you to our parents, don't say, love you to our parents. This is a very Indian practice. If you have something, you keep it in your heart and you let it grow there. So now, if we do this, there are two conditions. One, we'll get up. Can I request everyone to please get up from your seats? You move around in the room. Whoever you meet, you express your gratitude, but without uttering the word thank you or anything. No words required. It can be through your eyes, it can be a sign language, it can be anything. But you have to express your gratitude without saying thank you to the other person. Can we do that? Just 2 minutes. Okay? Everyone. Whoever you meet. Okay, you can come back to your seats. Okay, now, any questions you have?
Yeah, hi, I'm Girish from Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Well, I recently heard a talk where they said that, success is a trap. So the biggest trap you have in your life is success. So unless you get out of that zone, you don't see the next level. Is it somewhere related to your talk? And if you can, and somewhere while I'm convinced with that talk, I feel that is it a trap of the next level?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, the first story that I was saying, it's like, you always have some kind of benchmark for success in your life. Like for that couple, it was that cow. One of the very interesting story we have here in India, in Mahabharata, Karna used to have this, Kavach and Kundal. So wherever he goes, he's protected. His only dream is he wants to defeat Arjun in the war. He had 2 encounters with him. Both the time he could not do that. Now the third encounter, when he had the final encounter, he was so lethal in his operation that he was about to kill Arjuna. He almost killed all the 4 brothers. But that day he was not wearing that kavach. Yeah. Something that protects us, something that is, okay, this is my safety. Sometimes that becomes your biggest foundation, becomes your biggest trap in life. And unless you learn to deal with that, it becomes like you stay with that, and for you, this is your reality, this is your world. If somebody says something exists outside of it, but you don't want to go because there's a risk. So I think many a times success is your biggest trap than the failure. Because once you fail, you want to do it again. Maybe you want to prove it to somebody, maybe you have that pain in your heart, whatever. But the moment you are in success, you have tasted that success, maybe now in your head, you are saying that I want to do this, I want to do that. But deep inside, you know, no, I'm not good enough to do anything more than that. You don't want people to know. So you get stuck in that level of success. I hope this answers. The simple thing is the moment you breathe in, this breath gives you life, isn't it? Your inhalation gives you life. But now you say, oh, this has given me life, I will not breathe out. You will die with suffocation. The moment it's time to let go, it's time to exhale, you exhale. But because if you don't exhale, you're going to die. But if you just exhale and say, now it's over, I'm become very spiritual in my life, I don't want to receive anything. Now you're gone. Many a time, the problem with people is they become so strong and independent in their identities and labels, they don't want to receive things in life. I'm here to help you. But no, I'm very independent. I will not take help. See, the nature of life is interdependency. If I become too independent, I am bound to suffer. Anytime I go against the rules of life, I'm bound to suffer.